Hello everyone, welcome to a big edition of In the Box Seat as we preview TAB Hollindale Stakes Day on Saturday. Once again joined by Ella Cohen and the form expert, the man with all the winners, Paul Joice. How you going, Joicey?
Yeah, good. Looking forward to this day. The track's improving. We'll touch on that really quickly, but it should be spot on come Saturday.
Overall, how's the meeting look?
It's a great meeting, like depth everywhere, great racing right through the day. We'll be very busy.
Yep. At time of recording, a soft 6, but the forecast is on our side for a change, looking like we'll be a 5, maybe even a 4 by Saturday, but at least a soft 5. So a little bit cooler tomorrow in the forecast, but 24 degrees, which is not too bad compared to elsewhere. Let's go into the Hollindale firstly and dig a bit deeper into the race. Half Yours was a dominant favourite on the back of his all-age stakes win, and then news filtered through in the last probably 9 days or so, really. The Pride of Jenni was a confirmed starter for the race, which saw the market very much even out, and she's a hustler, sort of maintained her spot in the betting boards. And but there's been a very good push for Pride of Jenni in the last 24 hours, Joicey.
There has been, and she's a polarising sort of horse because she makes the race.
Yep.
Like she gets along in front and tries to break their hearts, but she's either on or she's off.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of in between with her, and you know, when she's off, she's under pressure at the 800 and pretty much pops.
Yep.
And when she's on, she just breaks their hearts and can win by 4 or 5,
Yep.
or even as we saw down in Melbourne, just refuse to lie down at times. So she's a tricky one from a punting perspective. Like, do you believe and just back her, or you're going to take her on because she's taking such a big chunk of the market?
Yeah, you've done ratings and form for a number of years, Paul. This has got to be one of the best Hollindale fields, even though it's still only a Group 2 race. It deserves Group 1 status, this field, on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I think if you looked at this field and it was a Group 1, you wouldn't even think twice.
Yeah.
You know, so it's got to be getting close to it. We see a lot worse Group 1s going around in a season than what we get right here. So, hopefully the Racing Patent Committee having a look at it and trying to assess it, because this field certainly warrants Group 1 status.
Just one thing with Pride of Jenni, I've never caught her. I've always been on the wrong side of the ledger. Each time I pot her, she comes out and wins like far lap. What about you? Have you ever caught her?
Yeah, I've been on her at times, but then I've been completely wrong with her at times, and I think as a punter, as I said, you either just believe and continue to back her. I'm not in that camp anymore. I'm on the other camp now. I'm like, whenever I back her now, I always think this is the day it's going to be all over for her. Whereas I think a horse like Half Yours, we've still got the best to come, perhaps, which is scary considering it's already won a Melbourne and Caulfield Cup double. But the first up run was just too good for me not to go into that camp. So, I'm all into Half Yours. And even if it doesn't win on Saturday, I know he's going to run a huge race, whereas Pride of Jenni could win, or she could run poorly.
Well, speaking of Pride of Jenni, obviously you probably see in front of us we've got the 80 Hollindale Perpetual Trophy, and inside of it we've got a bunch of 4Xs, because a big shout out to the team at 4X, who, if Pride of Jenni crosses the line first, the CEO here at the Gold Coast Turf Club and 4X will be shouting the bar, so you can head to any bar on track and you can get yourself a free 4X Gold if Pride of Jenni crosses the line first. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of punters here just for that reason alone, really hoping that Pride of Jenni crosses the line first.
Any form experts or budding race callers, you'll be available to call race 8 and fill in for Joicey for race 8. We'll be at the bar when Pride of Jenni crosses the line first. So send in your entries and you can fill in for us while we're enjoying some of the free 4X Golden offer. Great promotion, and that should get a few more people trackside to see a champion horse. She very much is. But speaking of her, and as you touched upon, who knows what we've got with Half Yours, what he was able to create in the spring. He was virtually unbeatable, and then ran a slashing race over an unsuitable distance first up over 1400 in the all-age stakes on a track that was hard to make ground.
Yeah, that's it. Whereas I think Pride of Jenni is going to really make the race for Half Yours now. It's going to make it a tough 1800, which for a horse that's won a Caulfield Melbourne Cup is exactly what you're looking for. What you didn't want was a sit sprint 1800, which we're not going to get. So that suits him, but like the chances don't end there. They're backing Birdman as if he's unbeatable. You get J-Mac in town. So when J-Mac comes to town, you expect him to ride 3 or 4 winners, if not more, and this could well be one of them off a good gate. So he's a chance, and you touched on the other one. She's a hustler right in the market, and who knows? Miss Jolene, she always runs a
Yep.
good race here at the Gold
Yeah, loves
Coast.
the coast, yep.
So she's not out of it either. So plenty of chances.
Just speaking of Miss Jolene, it could be a big week for Darren Wilson.
Yes.
He had the slot
Yes.
with Yellow Brick, and shout out to Tony Matty
Yes.
Sears.
Yep.
He had the slot for the Archer and Yellow Brick. So not that he needs the money, but he got more. He got 50% of the slot
Yes.
out of the $1 million race. So out of the 700K
Yep.
first prize, Darren's cleaned up again. So
Got Knight's Choice back too.
yep.
That's another Melbourne Cup.
And he more than likely runs now.
Yes. The track should be fine.
They were going to avoid a soft track. But tempo, do you see her stretching out by a big margin? How have you mapped it?
Yeah, I think she has to, doesn't
Yeah.
she? That's her, why not?
Yeah.
You've got to do it, especially around here. You just got to try and make the others chase, and hopefully she can run them into the ground if you're on her team.
Birdman, an interesting horse. He was sensationally back. We had Peter Ty on the show last week. Sensationally back to win the Australian Cup in the last 10 minutes of betting. It was a huge go. It was in a point and a half. He loomed as the winner at the top of the straight at Flemington and then just appeared to gas out chasing her. Now, devil's advocate, you're in their camp. Do you go, I wish she wasn't in the race, or 1,800 on more of a chance to run her down?
Yeah, you probably wish she wasn't there.
Yeah.
If you're in her camp, like if I owned Birdman, I wouldn't want her there.
He seems like he's more effective at those sit-sprint weight for age races than that brutal run race.
He's probably more of the sit sprint, whereas half yours is more of the grinding 1,800, make it as tough as you can. So, yeah, it's going to be a great race.
Have you settled upon your selection?
Yeah, half yours. Don't know who I put for second and third. Miss Jolene definitely tempting to sneak into the top three at sort of $16. Just seems like, she's going to run well no matter what happens. She just always does here. So maybe find a spot for her.
The more that I'm looking through it, if she is 6 to 8 lengths in front of them approaching the home turn, which she very well could be, I don't know whether they could run her down.
So you're going back.
I'm actually leaning to jumping in the Jenni camp.
Okay, all right. We know what happens when you do that. So
well, she'll get run over at the 300 metre mark.
So I can double my bet.
Yeah, there'll be no beers for anyone.
I was just going to say Pride of Jenni purely for the fact that I want one of those cold 4Xs after the race. So I think I'm going to stay with Pride of Jenni and hope for the best because I want the cold 4X.
You got to be here for that promotion, Ellen. But anyway, shout out to Mia. Wedding coming up on the weekend. Mia Dennis. Good luck to Jake. More importantly, let's have a look at the support card. It's a ripper. It always is. The 2-year-olds will kick off in the Ken Russell Memorial Classic. Last year won in emphatic style by Beeman. He'll line up in the Guineas. But how'd you see the 2-year-olds?
2-year-olds is, well, first we've got to work out where St. Gotthard is going to go. Or in Gosford, but also here. Drew well at Gosford also. But I'm sort of getting the inkling they're coming to the Gold Coast. I think they're sort of trying to find the track condition up here. If they're confident they'll get a soft 5, I have a feeling they're coming north. So, J-Mac booked, good draw. 1 from 1, obviously a very expensive yearling, doing everything right. And then you got the locals. Boomelli just keeps getting better. Silk and Salute's undefeated. Unloading should have been 2 from 2. So you can make a good case for about 4 or 5 of them. Basilius was great on debut. Where's he come from?
Yeah, as much as it was a midweek maiden, there was a lot to like about him, and looks a really good looking colt by Extreme Choice.
He's going to have to improve, but he's on the upside. So it's a tricky one. Have you sort of singled out one yet?
Well, I think, again, you're just weighing up which way Chris is going. Like, he's declared James, at time of recording, for both horses. Both horses are in at Gosford. You think one runs here, one runs Gosford. You'd have to say that they're probably leaning towards St. Gothard to get the group status. Because he's a very expensive, $2.7 million colt. So
I think he's coming here. I think he'll come here. I think once they're confident we'll get a soft 5, they'll be here.
Quickly, Silk Stocking looks a lottery.
Oh yeah, the Silk Stocking is a lottery at this stage.
18 fillies and mares. Do your best there.
I think that's where, but that's sort of the race where if you want to have something on something in 40s, that's the race to go looking for that.
The Gold Coast bracelet for the 3-year-old fillies, a key lead up to the Queensland Oaks, and we see a very good New Zealand filly in single red. She chased a Hope wins twice in New Zealand. That filly came out, joined the Chris Wallace stable and won the ATC Oaks recently. This filly was first up in New Zealand recently over a mile, and she was a very dominant winner. She looks out of this box.
Yeah, she's my best of the day. Race 5, number 1, single red, the Kiwi filly. for all the reasons you've already touched on. The only thing probably is her racing style.
Yep.
She's got this lovely on-pace racing style for a New Zealander. She's strong. She'll run the 1800 easily, and the Hopi form, it's just frank.
Well,
And
Paul,
set
you
weights.
asked me for my bet of the day based on the name, and that was the one
Single
based.
red,
That
wasn't
was the one based on the name. And to hear you say that
Yeah.
that's your best of the day,
It did take long.
Not only a colour, but red as well.
It's
so
meant to be.
everything,
It's meant to
everything.
be.
Yeah, so she's the good thing. She'll be back on Saturday to win, and I suppose off that she'll head towards the Oaks, Rose's Oaks.
Ella's got the multi going single red into Redford.
There we go. Yep.
In the last.
Yep.
The Gold Coast Guineas 3-year-olds Group 3 race. I guess everyone keeps expecting Beedman to do what he did here on Ken Russell Day, and he hasn't. Again.
Yeah, he hasn't yet. He got the track conditions that day, didn't he? The wet track, and we're sort of thinking soft 5, good 4, which isn't, it's probably still suitable for him, but he's definitely better on the wet. He's still very, very classy, and he can still win the race. Beskar comes up here with great form. Nepo Baby's fast, and even though Sylph's still a maiden, she's run second to Grafter Burners here. And her first up run was huge, I thought, at Eagle Farm on the wet track when caught on the fence. So she's drawn soft. So, you could make a good case for her. She's been backed. I don't know if Beedman, I just don't know if I want to dive into him as favourite. Yes, he can win, but I don't know. I reckon I could find other options around him.
I'm tempted to tip Sylph and just hope she can break through. Yeah. She deserves a win. That run at Eagle Farm first up, all the runs have been outstanding. It's just not her fault that she hasn't got a win next to her name. But the thing is, Joyce, you seem to always get a price about her because she is winless.
Yeah, you do. Like she opened $13, $14. I think she's into about $8. And Grafter Burners is going to go around favourite than Doom and 10,000 at weight for 8.
Yep.
Yeah, she's been right on Grafter Burners' hammer a couple of times.
Yep.
So I think she's well placed here.
Yep. And just quickly, the ATC Trophy, the get out.
Yeah, well, I think Golan's sort of got a lot of horses.
Yep.
He's weighing up where they're all going. I think Hidden Wealth is going to the ATC Trophy now. At his best, he wins, I think, with J-Mac aboard, and the conditions don't bother him. They had him down in the bat out of the hill, but I think they're going ATC Trophy. So, he's the horse to beat. He drew okay, and his first up run was enormous.
Thought Paray would run well in that race, has been trialling well.
Paray's been trialling great.
They've been holding him up in his
Place
trials.
horse, isn't he? Top 3 horse. He doesn't win often, but top 3.
Maybe play the exotics around Hidden Wealth and Paray in the last and try and get something out of the ATC Trophy. Anything else on the day?
It was single red and Redford for me. So you both mentioned, and I think I'm in for the treat. And before we go, while we are on Hollindale, obviously we're talking about the Ken Russell, and there is a horse that obviously has won a Ken Russell here before, an incredible horse, Spirit of Boom, who we found at the sad news of their passing this week. So we want to give a big shout out to the Golan Stable and Spirit of Boom as well.
Paul, terrific racehorse in his own right, but what his legacy in the Queensland breeding industry will live on for it's a generation that he's created.
Oh, for sure. The amount of spirits and booms that are running around says it all. So, commiserations to Tony, the team, and Eureka, of course. But what a sire, what a racehorse, and he stamped himself in Queensland for a long time for sure.
He was able to win a Ken Russell as a 2-year-old here. He was 5th in a Gold Coast Guineas and Magic Millions Guineas here as a 3-year-old, but he come back as a 4-year-old and won the gold market, and 7 days later backed up and won the Magic Millions Cup. So he was a very good Gold Coast horse, and he was a good horse all round. But what he's done for the Queensland breeding industry, you're sort of talking, Felvalons and that. He's in that sort of upper echelon, and your former co-worker, I think, was pretty touched.
Kian wrote him work and did all that stuff with him. Yeah, so she would have missed him for sure. But I like it how you say, what he's done for the industry. Like, it wasn't a tough gig, what he was doing, for the industry. Like, he's not there digging trenches every day for the industry. Like, I reckon he's probably enjoyed himself.
Yeah. One of those times you say, I wish it was me. But anyway, sometimes you say, better him than me. Well, this time you go, that's a one a day for, 6 months?
Don't want to do the numbers, mate.
maybe back in our prime, Joycey. Anyway, that's just about. We probably should move on.
I think we
We
should.
might get into trouble.
I think we should. How about we talk about Hollindale and being
Yep,
here on track
yep.
this weekend, because it's going to be an incredible day. Obviously, with the feature here at the Gold Coast Turf Club.
Can't wait.
Racing, entertainment, it's all here. If you don't have tickets yet, head to gctc.com.au and be on track for an incredible day.
Get yourself trackside to cheer on Pride of Jenni for the 4X
Yeah.
Gold promotion.
Good.
You'll be
Sky
trackside.
Trackside, Sky One all day, every tip, every race.
Good as gold. We'll see you here for TAB AD Hollindale Stakes race day.